Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Today, we are pleased to welcome Dr. Ajit P. Maduraperuma, who is the chairperson of the parallel session 3 of the AAU 2021 online conference. Dr. Ajit Maduraperuma is the director of the Industry License Center of the Open University of Sri Lanka and is a senior lecturer attached to the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering. And also, he is a deputy vice chancellor of the Open University of Sri Lanka. Dr. Maduraperuma has over 25 years experience in academia as well as experience working as a consultant in many national projects. Let me hand over this session to the chairperson. Over to you, Dr. Maduraperuma. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that wonderful introduction. We have a very interesting session ahead of us, themed Innovation in ODL through Smart Technologies. As we know, everything is moving towards technology, and we need more and more research and development in how to incorporate technology into our learning. And we have got 6 presentations. First one on the use of YouTube and online smart teachers as learning resources. Then we have the Windows application for locating features of nervousness when making presentations. Then we have one on using concept maps, mind framework, and material summary towards enhancing achievement of distance students. Then using and learning. And we have got 6 presentations. Then we have using an effective student feedback system to improve the quality of teaching legal subjects. We have towards blended learning design and delivery with special focus on ubiquitous learning environment in the field of ODL. And then technological innovations in ODL, case study on COSU. So the presentations will start now. At the end of the presentation, we will take 1 or 2 questions. In the interest of time, we have 6. That means it's a long session. So the first abstract is about the use of YouTube and online smart teachers as learning resources, presented by Yasir Riyadi. Over to you, Yasir.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Hello. Can you hear my voice? Yes. Is it possible to play the record, sir?
Please wait. We are playing your video.
Bye. Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Now we will play the video from Yasir, and then at the end he will be there to answer any questions that you may have.
All right, sir. Thank you very much.
Good day to all. Today I'm going to present to you about our project.
I'm sorry, that is not my.
That's the wrong one.
Nervousness when making a presentation.
That's the wrong presentation. It should be Yasir's presentation.
Yeah, wait, we are playing correct one. Okay. Please wait.
Wait, thank you. Wait.
That's right. Sorry about that disruption. You know, technology has its advantages and disadvantages. So
yes.
Okay.
My name is Yasir Riyadi. I am from Universitas Terbuka Jakarta, Indonesia. So through this AAU conference virtually, to present my presentation about the use of YouTube or UTTV as learning resources during COVID-19 pandemic. So this is a very good and popular topic and research that I've been doing in the last 2 years. So as you might know here, the development of information and technology in era globalization grows very fast and rapidly. So many people engage with technology because when the pandemic is coming, everyone online. So we cannot go everywhere, but we can do everything online. So information technology is a technology used to process data. With the technology, we can do many things easily. And YouTube, maybe you already familiar with YouTube, is one of the platform which is very largest and most popular video sharing site in the world today. There are conventional TV and online TV like in YouTube. Everyone wants to be a YouTuber and everyone wants to do everything online by posting their video. The site facilitates its users to upload video as well as broadcast live videos that can be watched by others users around the world for free. So everyone can post, comment, review, share, and many things with online learning platform. Here's the data of the top social media and streaming video application in Indonesia in January 2021. In video streaming application, YouTube comes the first popular video streaming application with the average 25 hours per month. Even in the social media, WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram is the popular social media, and TikTok also. TikTok is really famous here in Indonesia. They are also TikTok for education, TikTok for sharing, for entertainment, and many things. So we come focus to the YouTube here. The characteristic based on the survey conducted by the YouTube, more than 1 billion users. So you can see there are so many users from YouTube, which means almost third of all internet users use YouTube. And the users mostly between in the age of 18 until 34. And more than 70% of their viewing time on YouTube comes from mobile device. For me and my children, my friends, they are using their cell phone, mobile phone, watching YouTube and many things in education, entertainment, and everything in their mobile. And here, among 92% of Indonesian internet users say YouTube is their first destination when searching video, especially when there is a viral video. If there is a viral video, everyone wants to watch it and everyone wants to update it and everyone can see it in YouTube. So in terms of the quantity of viewers, YouTube has revealed television as more frequently accessed media of Indonesian people. Here also, the characteristic YouTube comes at the first stop of video streaming that very popular, and from 1,500 respondents involved in the study of the YouTube, 53% said that access YouTube every day, so they watching every day in the YouTube. And this make, as you can see from the data, it makes an opportunity for education institution to make this opportunity the popular application to figure out how to develop learning process easily, cheaply, simply, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. So the goals as a YouTube, there are six from Little John and Foss. They said it should be interactive, hypertextual, network, virtual, simulated, and digital. And here's the discussion. In our university, in Universitas Terbuka, we have so many open sources running by our institution. We have digital library including virtual books library, UT repository, and also our YouTube UT TV. And between the hits from January into December, it's really good, especially in the certain period like registration, examination, tutorials, online learning, and many things. And here is our UTTV in YouTube channel. So based on this data, if you might see the total grade of our UTTV channel is B minus. It seems that this channel has a very good grade, and then with the subscriber almost 50,000 subscribers with the views of video almost 5 million. It seems that our UTTV can reach many more people in Indonesia and outside of Indonesia. And this research is analyzed by content analysis by looking the purpose of the data, statistic hits and development, and also views of the time between 2020 and 2021. So the content analysis in my paper here, starting from UTTV activities for the number of subscribers, videos, statistic, average hits of the week, months, years, and many things. And here's the instrument of evaluation is observation, report, feedback, participation. And here's the first one. You can see the weekly video views gain for our UTTV in Universitas Terbuka. The weekly subscribers obtained from 2018 to 2020 increased very significantly from July 2019 into the highest one. The peak is in the July 2020. So the video views also significant increase through that years in July and January 2020 and 21. And as you might know, in 2020 and 21, the COVID-19 is happening. So in our institution, Universitas Terbuka makes some programs like talk show, webinars, knowledge sharing forum available on our site in UTTV in channel. So it increased the viewers during the pandemic, especially students who can face their examination in July and December. The statistic increased rapidly. So the total subscriber and video views are our Universitas Terbuka monthly. It increase can be seen from January to July. So at the time of the pandemic in Indonesia, the UTTV present choice of learning models for students to general public. We share many content video for education for our students so they can view many things concerning about education, about their learning materials and many things. So the resulting view above 2.5 million viewers and almost 50,000 subscribers throughout the year. So it's really amazing concerning with the COVID-19 pandemic. So people just open their YouTube, see our channel, they can learn by themselves. So here's the analysis channel, the graph of UTTV analysis channel on our YouTube is constructed from January into 2021. It illustrates 32.2 million impressions and also concerns about 37.8% of YouTube recommendation of content as the material provided. So based on that year, in June to November, it reached the top most in September because our anniversary, Universitas Terbuka anniversary, will be just held in September. So many people watch our UTTV channel to see our broadcast live through UTTV, related our activities and related our anniversary. So based on the UTTV channel analysis, the video on the channel has have been watched for 2 million, more than 2 million times with 216,000 watch times and additional 39.5 thousand subscribers. So it increased from years to years from 2020 to 2021. Uh, and the highest, most popular show was the application of our Open University Techcom exam. The total view almost 135,000. So as you may know, when the pandemic coming, we don't have examination by offline. So we do it, the examination by THE or take home exam. So students just stay at home, download their questions and do the assignment. And after they finish doing the assignment, they can upload their answers into our site. So we make the video and it make a hits for amount about 135,000 views at the time. So it is one of the analysis of the statistic of our content video. So here we come to the conclusion. Most of our students really have no non-familiar with YouTube. As you might know, the billion people, million people in Indonesia also, YouTube is the popular application. Even the use for YouTube as education still low. And in 2020, UTTV or YouTube is plays very important role to provide many videos on YouTube, which can be used as one of the learning media and reference learning resource for students. And based on the result of the study, most of our students in Universitas Terbuka also use UTTV as media as learning resource, especially programs during COVID-19 pandemic, such as webinars, talk shows, and lectures. The last couple years, we have knowledge sharing forum and more than 4,000 students and people from all over Indonesia and outside Indonesia watch that webinars in our UTTV. And it also suggested that UTTV made some learning videos for specific students, for disabled students to support their learning, especially for visually and audibly impaired. So the most analytic things that we can see from the YouTube application that it will come for the new things. For example, we have online examination for take home exam, and we make the video. Everyone watch it. Everyone want to see. Everyone wants to know what is that. And then whenever it comes to registration, our students who wants to register themselves, they want to see how to register in our university. So we make the video and we post it in our YouTube channel. Everyone wants to see it, and it can very viral. And also the examination. So whenever we make the registration, tutorial, examination, our anniversary, education, and many things, it comes in a specific ways, in a specific events, and everyone wants to know, and everyone wants to watch the video. So I think that our YouTube video is very popular for students, especially in the special event. So whenever we have a special event, we share it in our social media, and everyone will come to see our content in the video. So that is the end of my presentation.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much, Yazir. Wonderful presentation and wonderful use of technology. Innovative, I think we have to be innovative now. I think you have taken a right step using previously unknown kind of media that has been used for some other purposes. You are using for education. I think that we learned a lot from that presentation, especially, using these technologies for disabled persons and during the COVID pandemic, what we call the emergency teaching, emergency remote teaching. Any questions to Yazir? Please you can type on the chat if you have any questions. No questions. So thank you very much, Yazir. Hopefully, if
Yeah.
anybody wants to contact Yazir, you can. Okay.
Yes.
That's
Thank
a
you very
question.
much.
Oh, sorry, Raju, there's a question. What is the duration of video lectures?
Oh, okay. There is a question, Dr. Ajit. So we have a research that for the video lecture, maybe we cannot make it longer than 30 minutes. So as we know that even we have a very interactive way or entertaining, but it seems that 20 minutes until 30 minutes is quite enough. So our research showed that we cannot make it more than 1 hour, 2 hours, or more than that. So 20 minutes, 30 minutes based on the specific materials, it's fine. So the duration of lecture in our institution in UTTV, the average around 20 or 30 minutes. And they can open for the other for question, answer, discussion, and anything in the
Great. So their duration 20 to 30 minutes. Sorry, Yazir, your voice is
learning
breaking.
LMS materials. Yes, yes.
No,
Yeah,
it's okay. I mean, the last few
hello.
words
Test.
was.
Okay. Yes, Dr.
Okay.
Ajit.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Any other questions? If there are no more questions, thank you, Yazir, again. Wonderful presentation and wonderful
Okay.
presenting the use of technologies. The innovative use of technologies in learning and teaching. Very encouraging. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr.
Now,
Ajit.
okay, now we move into the next presentation, which is about a Windows application for locating features of nervousness when making presentations. Another key aspect, the presentation skills. The people are nervous when they are making presentations. The team of Iresh Attanayaka, DTDM Danayaka, AR Lokuke, Mr. Kuwathasan, DPM Rupasinghe, and Chintaka as presenting the paper. Now over to the presentation. The presenters are here. If anybody wants to ask a question, you can ask on the chat.
Windows application for locating features of nervousness when making a presentation. This project was supervised by Dr. Ayu Attanayaka. There are 5 in the team, including me. I'm DTDM Dahanayake. We are from the Department of Mechanical Engineering of the Open University of Sri Lanka. Let me continue the presentation. This is our content: introduction, problem statement, literature review summary, aims and objectives, methodology, results, and references. Introduction. Effective presentation skills are key for good communication. People deliver presentations and speeches for various purposes. Elegantly speaking means transferring ideas and messages across people effectively. But the most common mistake most presenters do is stutter. Problem statement. As I mentioned earlier, stuttering is a common mistake that can happen from any presenter because lack of confidence due to less practicing opportunities. Why such a worry about stuttering? Because it can lead to a dull presentation. Therefore, practicing a speech is very important. But it is impossible to count the number of stuttering while they delivering the speech. So need someone to get feedback. What if help from others is not available? So to overcome these issues, this project develops a Windows application to identify the number of stuttering times using convolutional neural network. Literature review summary. According to the literature review, we divided the facts into 3 parts. They are automatic speech recognition, speech extraction techniques, and speech recognition techniques. According to the automatic speech recognition, we studied about definition, wide range of applications, process of the ASR. According to the feature extraction techniques and speech recognition techniques, MFCC and convolutional neural network are the best methods. Aim and objectives. Aim. Developing a Windows application to identify how many times a person stuttered while delivering a speech is the aim of this project. Objectives. Our objectives are to overview on current technologies, identify the stuttering, and interface the facility to a Windows application. In this slide, this block diagram gives a basic idea of the application. You can see this Windows application detects the number of stuttering times and displays it. Methodology. As the methodology, we gathered the information and the sample of stuttering at first, then trained the algorithm while developing the user interface of the app. Finally, the integration of both and the testing. This block diagram shows how the train classifier was obtained. First of all, the audio clips were collected, then converted into images using MFCC. Then images were trained using convolutional neural network. After that, train model was obtained. This block diagram is for identify the stuttering audios. First of all, audios is captured and converted into images. Then using the train model, the prediction is done. The conversion of audios. The conversion of audios happened after cropping into 1-second clips. Then audio clips were converted into 2D images using MFCC speech extraction. What is MFCC? Mel frequency Kapstra coefficient. Using Fourier transform mathematical formula, mesh spectrogram can be obtained. This can be easily achieved by using the libbrowser package on Python. In here, you can see an example for mesh spectrogram. Results. To train the model, audio clips were divided into two classes. They are various type of stuttering clips and other audio clips. And 4,000 audio clips were used for each class. Then, all the audios were converted into images using MFCC. After that, data was split into two parts, training and testing. Trained data is used for training the data. Test data is used for evaluating the model performance. And 25 epochs were used to train. Accuracy of the model is shown here. As you can see, it achieved more than 99%. Trained sample accuracy is 99.95%. Test sample accuracy is 99.94%. The identification of the stuttering is shown here. This is the interface of the Windows application. Let's see how it works. I'm Tarundi. Mm, um, as you can see, it recognizes the stuttering times and displays it. In future, this kind of applications can use for the edification and help students to improve their skills individually. With the friendly user interface, they can enjoy the time practicing the speeches and presentations. Also, it can create a rating method in order to compare the quality of the speech conducted on academic levels. These are references. Thank you very much for listening.
Great presentation. I think Iresha was here, right? Yeah.
Yes, I'm here.
But authors of the paper are here if anybody wants to ask any question. Okay, that's a question. What is the basis for taking stuttering as the basis for nervousness?
That was we counted, this sound for the time being, not repetition of words or anything other than that. That is exactly showed in the video. If I say I am Iresha, so we initially counted that one.
No, the question is why taking stuttering as the basis for nervousness? Taking stuttering as the parameter for nervousness.
Okay. Yeah, the problem is from psychology department. Yes, of course. Initially, we identified the most nervousness feature can be measured by stuttering. If there are some other features, of course, we really don't know about that side. But when we go through the literature, when we are doing kind of a presentation, if you are nervous, the most popular thing is that you're trying to stutter. If there are other key features, maybe.
Right. Okay, that answers that question. I have a small. Is this application available on Google Apps or anything? Has
So
it been?
actually, we not really. So this is we. The ultimate goal is to develop a mobile app. We are working through that one.
Right. Okay. So that
Yeah,
will be
this
made
particular
available.
application, yeah, it is not available anywhere. So we are in the process of developing the mobile app.
Right. No, my I have a question now. Once you identify the stuttering, what can be done with that information?
So I'll answer that question, sir. Once it will count the number of stutterings here, right? So then we can identify how many times a particular individual has stuttered, right? So then next time we'll point out that this is the number of stutterings that you have done in this speech. So next time in your next presentation, your next speech, try to reduce the number of stutterings, right? So this is like a precursor, a pre-assessment. like where the number of stutterings have been identified, and we are showing him that that individual, these are the number of times you have stuttered in your presentation, and this hasn't had an effect on your overall effectiveness of communication of the presentation. So then he'll see the number of stutterings, and then he'll try to reduce it. So every time any number of stutterings get reduced through these observations, then we can help that particular individual to develop more effective and more efficient communication and presentation skills.
Okay, great. Yeah, one thing I don't know, I just thinking aloud, I think it might be good for them to give some practice examples, or exercises embedded into the app. Okay, if you find that somebody is stuttering too much, maybe some exercises that they can do. Anyway, thank you very much. No more questions. Very good presentation. Very good topic. Stuttering, nervousness, all these are affecting the people's presentation skills, and it's good to address those issues. The students, if it made into an app like you said and made publicly available, then people can improve themselves. So thank you very much for that wonderful presentation. So next we have presentation on using concept map, mind framework, and material summary towards enhancing achievement of distance students in the schedule.
Excuse me, sir.
Unfortunately,
yeah, we don't have that abstract.
Yeah, unfortunately, the person has not submitted this presentation, neither is available. So we move to the next presentation, which is using an effective student feedback system to improve the quality of teaching a legal subject, presented by Liana Muhandiram and Arya Ratna.
Good day to all of you. Today we are here to deliver a presentation on the research paper titled Using an Effective Feedback System to Improve the Quality of Law Teaching. This paper is a co-authored paper by Ms. Niroshika Liana Mohandiram and myself from Department of Legal Studies, the Open University of Sri Lanka. As academics, we all know that teaching is much more an interactive process rather than delivering information. However, a learner in an ODL context may not have direct interaction with the teacher when it compares with a learner engaged in the conventional learning process. Therefore, an effective feedback system can be used as a tool to enrich and enhance the teaching learning process in the ODL context. In this research, we especially focus on the learners who are engaged in law degree program through ODL system. They might face a lot of difficulties to understand complex legal concepts, law reports and textbooks without the direct assistance of the teacher. Hence, in this paper, we recognize student feedback as one of the important factors of the law teaching in the ODL context. Now we are moving to the research problem. In this research, we are investigating the problems of does the existing feedback system utilized in the LLB degree program of the Open University of Sri Lanka provide an adequate space for law undergraduates to highlight their specific issues or concerns? Also, does the existing feedback system of the OUSL facilitate all the learners to participate in feedback process? Accordingly, objectives of this research are to identify the importance of student feedback as an essential tool for law teaching in the ODL context, to analyze the existing student feedback system in the OUSL, to compare and contrast the existing feedback system of the OUSL with the feedback systems of some selected foreign universities. Finally, to suggest recommendations to enhance the content of the existing feedback form given to the learners of the LLB degree program. In order to achieve these objectives, the research was conducted as a qualitative research which goes for extensive literature review and comparative analysis. The structure of the existing feedback form of the OUSL was deeply analyzed, comparing with feedback structures of several law schools in India and Singapore. Moreover, the researchers have selected 2 courses in level 6 of the LLB degree program to evaluate the students' participation ratio for supplying feedback. Now I move on to the results and discussion. First, we would like to explain student feedback as an essential tool for law teaching in the ODL context. We know legal discipline has its own specific characteristic. Law undergraduates are required to develop critical knowledge, analytical skills, and problem-solving skills by applying legal concepts on real-world problems. Law students in the ODL context struggle to deal with hundreds of law reports, statutory provisions, and legal textbooks with the limited assistance of the teachers compared to the conventional law student. So in this paper, we argue that students' feedback is an important source to identify the satisfaction or dissatisfaction of the law students. As it has already been stated, the OUSL is the only national institution that accommodates the ODL system in Sri Lanka. As you are already aware, there are 5 faculties in the university. The Department of Legal Studies is the Department of Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences. The department offers 4-year duration LLB degree program for the candidates who are eligible through an entrance exam. Currently, more than 4,500 students pursue their LLB degree, enrolling through 9 regional centers located in all the provinces in Sri Lanka. All the students of the OUSL are given a common feedback form physically at the last day school of each course. As you can see in this slide, the existing feedback form consists of these 7 sections. Appropriate statements are given in each section and the learner has to simply insert a tick in the most suitable column according to their choice. Columns are named as strongly agree, agree, disagree, and strongly disagree. Through this research, we have found that though the existing feedback form is designed in user-friendly manner, covering wide aspects of teaching and learning, the common feedback system does not provide an adequate space for law students to highlight their specific issues which are unique to the LLB degree program. Students are unable to indicate discipline-specific issues as discussion of case law, legislations, understanding of legal principles, and etc. And also, it was found that there is no reference in the given statements to develop professional skills and critical thinking skills, and also improving application of legal knowledge in problem solving. Despite these findings relating to the substance of the existing feedback form, there is no mandatory requirement to fill up the feedback form and there is no mechanism to collect the feedback form from the absentees. As you can see, we have selected 2 courses from level 6, labor law and commercial law. In both these courses, there are more than 550 registered students, but average number of received feedback forms are less than 125. According to this statistic, it is evident that many registered students were not participated in the feedback process. We have compared the existing feedback form with feedback form of Indira Gandhi Open University and National University of Singapore. There we found that several important statements can be added to the existing feedback form to enhance the effectiveness of teaching and learning process. They include reference to enhancing professional skills, coverage of entire syllabus through self-learning materials, clear presentation of concepts in materials, presentation of concepts in proper sequence, and etc. And also, students submit the feedback form anonymously through online upon the completion of the academic activities of each course before the final examination. When the online feedback system is compared to a paper-based system, it is more user-friendly and easily accessible to all learners irrespective of their attendance to the lectures. According to the existing procedure of the National University of Singapore, in order to distribute field feedback forms among the teachers, they are given only after completion of marking of examination scripts and releasing the results to avoid biases. This procedure is followed in many universities like Amity Law School and South Asian University. Finally, moving toward the conclusion and recommendation, this research highlights two main points. One is that there is no sufficient space for law students to provide subject-specific concerns through the existing feedback form. Secondly, the second is many students do not participate in supplying feedback due to the non-mandatory nature of the feedback system. These are the recommendations we propose to enhance the content of the existing feedback form. In addition to the existing statement, we suggest several statements to the existing form in order to introduce a unique feedback form for LLB degree program. Then, as the second recommendation, we suggest for making submission of student feedback compulsory through MyOSL portal and making it as a precondition to generate admission for the final examination. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that presentation. An interesting concept, how to design a good feedback system that can help us improve the learning process and facilitate the process. We have a question. There is a question from Gayani. Have these foreign universities made it compulsory for students to complete it? What method have they used to encourage and increase response rate?
Thank you for the question. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, we can hear.
All right. In some universities, they use the obtaining feedback as a precondition for generating the admission pass. So all the students should provide feedback before they sit for the final examination. So through that process, they encourage learners to supply feedback as a compulsory requirement. So I think that's why we propose these method for the open university system, because in our system we don't have that kind of compulsory requirement for feedback process.
Right. So that is in your recommendation, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Yeah. Any more questions on this? Right. So thank you very much for that.
Okay, so thank you very much.
On that use of feedback forms as a process of quality assurance, I think it has been always accepted that feedback is an important component of any quality assurance system. And this research shows or validates it further, and good suggestions for how to make a better use of feedback mechanism to improve learning. Thank you very much for that presentation. Then we move on to the next presentation, which is towards blended learning design and delivery with special focus on ubiquitous learning environment in the field of ODL. A case study of Krishna Kanta Handiki State Open University, and presented by Trisha Doera Barwa.
Hello everyone, I am Trisha Dora Borwa. I'm presently working as assistant professor and the Bhupan Hazarika School of Mass Communication under Krishna Kanta Handiki State Open University. And the topic of my presentation is on towards blended learning design and delivery with special focus on ubiquitous learning environment in the field of ODL, a case study of Krishna Kanta Handiki State Open University. Let me just give a brief overview of what this topic is all about. Now, in the last few decades, we have seen there has been a massive shift in the way learning is being disseminated to the learners, specifically through the open and distance learning system, right from the correspondence model to the present intelligent, flexible learning model. ODL has indeed come of age, and this has even made the distribution of learner support service very much easy.
However, a lot needs to be done, a lot of issues need to be addressed in order to provide a hassle-free and a congenial environment for the learning to take place. A blended learning is one of those ways in which an institution can make use of both online as well as offline learning platforms. Online learning platforms can include online discussion forums, ebooks, social media, online learning resources, and so on and so forth. Now, blended learning along with ubiquitous learning can actually create an environment that is both interesting and effective to the learners. To the basic objectives, I have enlisted three important objectives. First is to access the importance of developing a blended learning system with special reference to ubiquitous learning environment. Secondly, to introspect the feasibility of building a ubiquitous learning environment specifically in the field of open and distance learning. Thirdly, to analyze the pros and cons of having a blended learning system as far as distance education is concerned. Methodology part of the study, it is basically a qualitative analysis on the importance of having a blended learning approach while especially focusing on ULE environments. And I am also going to document analysis of few secondary sources from journals, from different books and magazines. Basically, this was done to actually understand or to substantiate the importance of blended learning and why blended learning is very much important in an education environment, especially in an ODL setup, by specifically also focusing on ubiquitous learning environment. I have tried to focus on two important frameworks to understand the blended learning approach better. That is, if you can see on the screen here, the diagram towards the right is a complex, adaptive blended learning system, and the one towards the right is a communicative inquiry. Now, the diagram on the left, it's the complex, adaptive blended learning system. Here, basically, the learner sits at the center of the model, and other components, they have an impact on each other. So altogether there are 6 elements in the system, each having their own subsystem. And these elements are the learner, the teacher, the technology, the content, the learning support institution. And then coming to the communicative inquiry model, this is based on the work of John Dewey and constructivist views of experiential learning. And this particular framework identifies the education experience as occurring at a convergence of 3 presences: cognitive, teaching, and social. And here the presence is defined as a state of alert awareness, receptivity, and connectedness to the social, cognitive, emotional, and physical workings of both the individual and the group in the context of the learning environments. Now let us ubiquitous learning is all about. Basically, it's nothing but it refers to that environment in which a learner can become totally immersed in a learning process. Different devices such as webpads, tablets, personal digital assistants, smartphones are extensively used in ubiquitous learning environment. Of course, one needs to have a proper connectivity that is well supported by sensors, cloud and mobile computing, context-based computing, GPS, GIS, artificial intelligence, while designing a ubiquitous learning environment. In the diagram, you can see there are 4 students within the ULE environment in which there are 5 ubiquitous objects as well as devices. So, and each student is part of the many to one relationship within this U space. And all the devices are networked and communicating within the ubiquitous space. So, if student 1 is interacting with object 1, all the devices and part of the network are aware of this interaction. However, for each student, the relationship is very much unique and the interaction is uninterrupted by the interaction of others. Even European University also provides a unique learning experience, a unique learning environment where different online learning platforms are combined together with offline resources. And basically, just like any other open universities, also any other education university, learners form the crux of the education system because the learners they provided online as well as offline learning resources to them, and those are imparted by the instructors or the teachers at the respective study centers or at the university headquarters, and the institutional support is also provided to the learners. And then those there are certain support services are there which are provided to the medium of a particular medium or to the medium technology. Okay, that's what has been indicated in this particular diagram as you can see on the screen. Now, I've just tried to highlight a few support services that are provided by KK Hanning State Open University. Just to give a brief overview what exactly it has been doing, because we have been saying that KK Hanning has been, utilizing or mixing a variety of e-learning as well as m-learning support services. As you can see, we have the eVid, that is a learning management system of KK Hanning State Open University, and through eVidya, one can access the different online learning materials as well as different audios and different videos and different lectures that's been uploaded by the faculties of the different departments of the university. Then of course the study materials, definitely they are given in print form to the learners. Apart from that, it's also available online. Then of course the learners portal, one can access the different assignments, previous question papers, mark sheets, e-admit cards, latest news information on the university and all. And of course, grievance mechanism is very important in any education institution. So it does in the case of KK Henry University also. We also have the alumni portal for those past out learners to share experiences of how wherever they are being absorbed in, whichever work they have been absorbed in, so they can share experiences of how their stint at KK Henry University whether it has been helpful for them or not. So all this stuff are really discussed and analyzed, and it's like a huge forum for all the past out learners. Then of course KK University has also taken a one step ahead by forming different mentoring groups on not only on WhatsApp but on Telegram also, where they can the different departments keep in touch with the learners. And this is more specifically true as this is a pandemic period and there is very less contact classes. So it's a great way to keep in touch with the learners. And often there are different ICT enabled services under the digital library of the university, and this are mostly one can click the university website and can access the different resources where different links are provided to different e-resources, where different links for thesis, for different links for dissertations, links for university documents, everything has been uploaded for the benefit of all. Then of course counseling classes, they are the one of the most important support services that have been provided by the university. Both online and offline counseling classes have been given. Online counseling basically through Facebook live classes are there. Then there are online classes is also held through different platforms like through Google Meet, through Zoom. So different platforms are being utilized. Of course, it's when we talk about KK Institute of University, it's also being recognized by its own community radio station, that is Gyantaranga, which tries to broadcast a variety of news and information. It tries to broadcast different issues, local issues, something related to community issues within a particular radius, within a 10 to 15 kilometer radius. So these are some of the services that have been provided. Then of course the learner zone, and of course the university has their own Android app through which the different a learner can log in and can access and can really get updated on whatever is happening as far as the university is concerned. Then of course we have our presence in the social networking platforms also, like in Twitter as well as in Facebook. Now, why we giving so much of focus on technology? Because it provides collaborative learning, it helps to build a network community, also it provides motivation and leads to developing cognitive skills and attitude, and in the long run, it facilitates student persistence and reduces drop. And after analyzing all the data and after analyzing, taking KK Institute of University as a case study and also analyzing how we can actually incorporate such an environment, we can definitely say that yes, the transition from e-learning to U-learning, it has been really phenomenal. U-learning is also almost similar to adaptive learning, whereby it monitors student activity, interprets the results, also understands students' requirements. Now, if you look at a way forward, we definitely have a task cut out for, because it takes we need to have a robust infrastructure in order to support the distance learning that is scattered in different parts of the locality. However, it doesn't mean that such an environment cannot be feasible. It definitely can be feasible, but we need to have the proper infrastructure. We need to have the proper requirements. We need to have a proper connectivity to which we can actually incorporate blended learning and ubiquitous learning environment into the same framework. With this, I end my presentation here. Thank you so much.
No, thank you very much for that very interesting presentation. Blended learning is the way to go for many of our universities, taking the local context into thing. And it was very interesting to see the blending of traditional modes as well as modern technology to provide learner support. The radio, the face-to-face counseling, as well as social media. So it's a wonderful model, and I'm sure that it will be a very successful and very applicable to other places as well. So any questions? Any questions to Trisha? Can I ask you a question, Trisha?
Yes, sir.
No, I mean, one of the problems that we are finding in this pandemic time is, lots of people, they find access to devices, access to internet, access to technology has become a problem, especially in rural areas. How do you handle that in this blended environment, and with these lockdowns, etc.? You can't go to traditional mode of face-to-face, etc. Also, have you thought about that? Or
You see, technology as a whole is something, it differs from place to place and from location to location. From the place from where I come from, I'm from Assam. So in our part, specifically, most of our learners, they're from rural areas. So what we try to do is that, yes, indeed, it's a big stumbling block to incorporate technology into the teaching learning platform, but it's as far as the rural learners are concerned. But we try from our side, from our university side, as best as possible to extend every possible help. And this is, of course, it's very common for a learner to have an Android mobile. And with the Android app that our university has come up with, so that app has really facilitated the learner to actually access the different aspects of the education system. So that is one aspect. And yes, we do have a different mentoring groups. We have started forming in WhatsApp and all, in Telegram also. So in order to reach out to them. So what we tell the learners is that, we tell to, it's not that the learner has to be very much, sound, very much, techno savvy to access such kind of, online or, offline support services, but the basic knowledge they should have, which I think they have been improving in this aspect. And because I was talking about ubiquitous learning system, but this ubiquitous learning system is a little bit advanced mode of reaching out to the learners, which in our part of the country it's not been that feasible, or that has not been seen. But why we are focusing on blended approach is that we do have a traditional mode of curriculum system. It's a traditional mode of extending support services is there through the study materials and all those stuff. But along with that, the online services, because the online services are very simple. Basically, we have different platforms and all are there. So we tell the learners to make the use of it. Okay, to make better use of it. And even if they have any problem, to contact us over either our phone or even email, or even they can send a messages to us. So what I feel is that whenever we go for such kind of technology, or when we go for such technology-enabled learning, our main concern and main focus should be the learners. Who our learners are, where do they stay? So if we take those things into consideration, I guess I know we can develop a far better platform to reach out to them.
great, very, very interesting and very how do you call interesting and encouraging. Yeah. So if there are no more questions, then thank you very much, Trisha. Wonderful presentation, and hope we can contact and continue on this, because we are in a similar situation with this regard to the pandemic. Blended learning is the way to go. So thank you very much for that wonderful presentation.
Thank you, sir.
We come to our last presentation, which is about technology innovations in ODL, case study in Khoshu, presented by Smitsika Chowdhury and Chayanika Senapati.
Hello everyone. The title of this presentation is Technological Innovations in ODL, a case study on Krishnakanta Hendik State Open University. And this study has been jointly conducted by me, that is Smriti Sikha Chaudhuri, and my co-author is Dr. Chayanika Senapati. In today's world, technology has become an inevitable part of our life. Because of the pandemic COVID-19 situations, the learning system throughout the world has shifted from brick and mortar to click and mortar. Krishnakanta Hendik State Open University, which is established in 2005, is showing tremendous growth from the time of its inception. In ODL system, as we know that the learners are free to learn at their own pace and convenience while being placed far away from the institutions. Most of them are either working people or those who left their studies long back and after a few years they were continuing their studies again in ODL system. So being situated in the northeastern part of India, where still the basic infrastructure is a major concern, the university adopts user-friendly technologies for the learners depending on their requirements. For this study, we had gone through a few literatures. First one is Reddy MR. He has done his study in 2017, and a study conducted in Andhra Pradesh for women ODL learners examined how information and communication technologies have influenced the empowerment of women through open and distance learning. The study found that the use of ICT in open and distance learning has equipped women intellectually and empowered them through acquisition of skills and knowledge. Then another study conducted by Janaka Selvadas in 2019. The study conducted for the learners of Open University of Sri Lanka. That study indicates that the majority of students have access to technology through mobile phones and are aware of blended learning, and social media is the most popular form of learning for them. Then another study done by J. Noani and N.P. Mafenia in 2019. The study conducted in Africa found that wider access can only be achieved if technology-enhanced ODL teaching and learning blended methods are used for adult learners. So after going through that literature review, the objective of the study we have selected is, first one is to review the extent to which technology implemented in KKHSOU for the learners of management discipline. We have considered the learners for MBA first and third semester. Then the second objective is to what extent the management learners of KKHSOU have the access to these technologies. Under methodology, this study adopts both qualitative and quantitative methodology. Under quantitative methodology, primary data is collected through structured questionnaire and qualitative data is collected through personal interview. The secondary data is collected from university website and other literature review. The sample considered for this study is 120 learners of MBA first and third semester of Krishnakanto Hendik State Open University. Now we will go to the technology adopted in KKHSOU. So here we have shown the 12 most important attributes which we have adopted during this pandemic time, and some of these attributes we have adopted earlier also. So KKHSOU adopts various electronic media to communicate with the management learners, like KKHSOU official Facebook, online teaching through multimedia, then mobile learning apps of KKHSOU, then Twitter account, then YouTube videos. We have more than 40 video lectures for management program, then telephonic contact with management faculties, then digital library facility, and then online response for examination and admission related queries, and other 5 factors which I have mentioned separately. Those were ESLM, Telegram, WhatsApp, email response from management discipline, and we have got 100% response for these 5 attributes. So here the statistical representation of the data. You can see from this table, like for KKHSOU official Facebook, the number of responses is 70, that is percentage is 58%. Then online teaching through multimedia, the number of responses 65. Then for WhatsApp group, 100% response. Then for Twitter account, the response rate is little low here. It is 21%. Then for Telegram account, again 100% response. Then YouTube videos, we asked whether they have seen our YouTube video lectures or not. The response rate is 71%. Then telephonic contact with management faculties, again the response rate is 77%. Then response from management email ID, we have separate email ID for our learners, that is management@kkhsvu, and most of the learners are satisfied that they say they get prompt response and the percentage is 95%. Then online response related to examination queries, here also response rate is 73%. And then digital facility availed by the learners. Digital library facilities are not very much availed by the learners, since our learners are distance learner and they might not get enough time to avail extra by maybe learning. So the percentage is 21%. Then whether we asked whether they go to our ESLM, and here the response rate is 100%. And for mobile learning app, the response rate is 93%. So this is the graphical representation of the data. Then in finding, we can say that the finding shows that the majority of the learners prefer the mobile learning app than ESLM, WhatsApp and Telegram accounts for communication. Then some of the learners access the YouTube videos related to topics which is available in the university YouTube channel. The learners are satisfied with the e-services provided related to examination and admission. And then management learners are not very active in KKHSU Twitter account, and very few learners are aware about the digital library facilities of the university. So these are the references. Thank you.
Very much for that presentation, technology innovations. Now, any questions? Until some questions come, I have a question to ask. Now, you said that the use of digital libraries is not very popular. Is it because the students don't like the digital libraries, or has it not been properly informed to the students the availability of digital libraries?
Sir, for management research scholar, the digital library they use regularly, but for MBS learners, maybe like they were not aware, maybe like more sensitization is required in this regard. And even though we provide the link for digital library, sometimes our learners were, most of the MBA learners are working people. So maybe they don't get much time to go for references, but we are encouraging them to like see more study materials on digital library.
Right. Any other questions from the audience? Well, looks like no questions. Then thank you very much. That's a very interesting oversight into how the different media are used, different technologies are being perceived by students as useful. Good presentation and good work.
Thank
so
you.
That brings this session to an end. So we had very good presentations from several parties. We looked at the YouTube, how YouTube is used for as a learning resource. We looked at how we can check the nervousness of students by looking at stuttering. We saw how feedback can be used as a tool to improve the quality of learning. and blended learning design and delivery, how different modes are used for blended learning. And finally, we looked at how technology innovations are used in ODL at the case study on KKHSOU. So thank you very much to all the presenters, wonderful presentations. And thank you very much for all the participants who stayed here for listening. So now this session comes to an end. I think the host will make an announcement about the next session. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
sir.
Thank you, Dr. Madhura Peruma. Thank you everyone for joining. Next session will start. Will be started. After session break, it will start 12 o'clock, and parallel online session 3.1 and parallel session on 3.2 will be started at 12 noon. Thank you for joining. Now we will wind up the session. Okay, thank you.